You're tuning into.
You're now tuning into
CodenameZ.
And welcome back, everyone.
Hello. I moved back from the microphone, so hopefully I'm not too loud.
We just recorded like 5 minutes of a podcast to where my microphone was disabled, so that was fun.
I mean,
I love that.
It's the gods telling us you wasn't saying nothing, so it's okay.
It's probably a sign that I need to pull away from this podcast and create my own. So starting next week, the big news that Basil does not know is Chatting with Ty starts.
Ew.
Chatting with Ty. I couldn't think of a name off the top. Chatting
Maybe
with Ty.
Talking with Ty or
Because
something.
Talking with Ty, that just sounded so basic with the alliteration.
I mean, look who's the host of it. I mean, basic.
An extraordinary person. Oh, do y'all want a law?
Again?
Do y'all want a law podcast that I can do with my? No, and we can like analyze like murders and stuff. You know one thing I found? Okay, let's introduce the podcast. I'm Tyrone.
And I'm Basil Anthony.
And this is CodenameZ,
the podcast.
One thing I found out recently, Clay, just as a short story, I am like, I could be a really good prosecutor. Even though I don't want to be a prosecutor. You know, I'm in federal criminal law I'm in federal criminal law class. I be killing it sometimes in that class. I'm like, okay, I could be a prosecutor, even though I realize I'm a softie because we did a sentencing thing yesterday. And I sentenced the man to 3 years in prison when the guideline said 21 to 27 years. I'm like, ooh, I was a bit off. But anyway, what's today's topic?
I mean, the person was your cousin, but you know.
You're urging my cousin.
Let me stop, because I like your cousins. They gonna fight me. Let me stop. Anyway.
Okay, go ahead. You had, okay, this was his topic.
I had a topic today. So I think the first thing I was like, so we're going to talk about microaggressions. That's going to be my first topic of the day, because that's something that...
So now I'm playing. Go ahead.
Of course, the person who wants white approval is not happy with... Okay.
I'm just so tired of all of the microaggression talk. We are just all one. So I'm just kidding. Don't cancel me. That
Good
was a joke.
night.
That was a joke. There's no such thing as racism anymore.
Oof.
So let me stop before someone just take that clip and try to make it seem like I really said that. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, when he becomes a lawyer, guys, let's make sure we take this clip, isolate it, blow it up nice and loud. So when he's in law, it's like, oh, this is him. There's no such thing as racism. He voted for Trump.
Okay, whatever. These do not reflect the true thoughts of Tyrone. I was going to say my full name, but I didn't want to say my full government.
I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Anyway, so I bring this topic up because I get the SEPTA, I get the bus and the trains and everything like that,
mm-hmm.
and I noticed something, and I notice all the time, and it's very annoying for me because it's like, okay, if I describe a certain person to you, like just think college, get off your phone.
I'm sorry.
College.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you yelled at me for me with my phone. But now.
Anyway, nobody yelled at him for his phone.
Anyway. So if I say no, now, if I say, think college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think of that white girl, okay? I'm going to say white for a reason. Think of that white girl who...
Oh, this is a generic white girl.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about specific. I was about to say, which one? Which white girl?
No, just think of a just imagine, because you can picture it. Right. Picture it, Sicily, 1982. Think of just the white girl who is so not racist. She is an ally. Mm-hmm. She wears overalls. That type of white girl. The one that's like, oh, I don't believe in any type of racism. Oh, Black Lives Matter. I stand with everything. Oh, I couldn't. Those type of white girls.
Right.
Think of that. Mm-hmm. And just think of them getting on SEPTA, right?
Right.
So I'm on SEPTA, right? I'm going to work. Mm-hmm. This girl gets on very much, got the little Black Lives Matter pin, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And she does, now mind you, there's seats available to sit down. Mm-hmm. She walks in, she looks at the seats. Obviously, there's no other way. There's only black people because, hey. Mm-hmm. Looks around, decides to stand up. And I was just sitting there like, why you not sitting down, sis? Black Lives Matter. So come sit near these Black Lives. What's up?
Right. Now, the only thing I will play devil... Wait.
No, because I'm not finished.
Because
I'm not finished.
A panorama.
I'm not finished.
Occurring.
We had masks on.
I'm just saying.
We had masks. No, but the issue was not the fact she didn't say... The issue was you got on... looked around, saw these empty seats, multiple.
Right.
Looked down like you looked around everybody, and then decided to stand up.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of.
But I've seen that happen. Now this is before the pandemic, because again, COVID just happened last year. Let's everybody stop. Okay, we lost a year. Calm down. Like we lost a year and a half and two. Like, all right, got it. Right. We still had every other year before then. Right. I've seen that multiple times of people of not the black variety.
Not the black variety.
getting, either getting on a bus or going to a certain area that is more ethnic. Mm-hmm. And deciding not to be near them. I've seen that, and I've seen it when I was in college. When you go in and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go sit somewhere else. It's like, why? You can sit here.
Right.
Why? Like, you don't want to be near us. But it's like, but now when something's happening, you're on the first one on campus with your fist up in the air, talking about something. I'm an ally. Black Lives Matter. Nobody should be. Right. But you can't even sit near us.
Right. Yeah, it's
giving me racism.
Right, it's internalized racism. And that's what I always say that, like, a lot of people who, for whatever community it is, whether it's the black community, gay community, whatever community, likes to say that they're allies, but then don't realize that they hold certain stigmas or practices within themselves that are like
when it's time to ally,
right?
We're missing
like the one girl that I saw post on the internet how she loves and supports the gay community, but she doesn't want a gay Superman, like, or that she doesn't want her kids exposed to gay people or whatever she said on Superman. And I'm like, 1 + 1 just added up to 3. And it makes sense.
It is funny because, like, so this is no one who I know who knows the situation is going to hear this, but I worked in a summer camp 2 years in a row.
The summer camp name is
Now.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. I hate you. So, one of the, I'm not gonna say it was a fight. One of the biggest disagreements I got into a disagreement with somebody. Mm-hmm. This is around the George Floyd situation. This is like the top of the George Floyd, like, whole issue, right?
Right.
And this person who, I'm not saying this to purposely misgender her. I believe it's still she. It might be they. I'm not quite sure.
Let's just say they, just to be safe, because it's still them, the person.
Okay.
You're irking.
So this person decided, and this person, mind you, they didn't give me racism, they done nothing like that. They were, pretty much ally, blah, 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. But at that time, they posted something on Snapchat and this is what irritated me, because they were always down for, we just have to talk about everything. Everything has to be a conversation.
Right.
So there's a situation happened where it was similar to George Floyd, but it was a white person. I don't know the name of it. Call me ignorant. It's fine. And she posted it. They posted it. And it was almost like a kind of like a, well, this happened and no one's talking about this. So, and I'm like, so mind you, I didn't say anything to this person.
Right.
I just made another post and was just like, this is so tone deaf that it's ridiculous.
Right.
That within that hour, they unfriended me on Snapchat. And I saw that and I was just like, you always talking about you need a conversation. Now it's time to have a conversation with a black person. You unfriend them, and then you want to go post, I just need positivity in my life, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this is so tone deaf, first of all.
Right.
This whole situation. It's like, if anybody else would have said this, you would have been fine with it. But I feel like the fact that it was a black person who's standing in their blackness, talking to you about this, why is there an issue?
Yeah. Right.
And mind you, this is the person who, doesn't have not one black friend. Okay, I haven't seen it not on an Instagram post, not a Snapchat, not a Twitter.
Right.
I ain't seen not one black friend that you have.
Right.
And even when we were close and working together, it was like we weren't very, very close because this person was always friends with their white friend.
Right.
And I'm like, it's just weird to me because I'm like, it's as much as you're trying to be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, I love everybody.
Right.
You're still not showing it. You're not sitting with the black people there. You're not really talking to the black people there.
Right.
It's like, it's the microaggressions for me.
Right.
It's like you can't sit here and proclaim something, and at the same time, you don't take the time to talk to us, listen to us, hang out with us, or understand us. That's bothersome. Another microaggression that at work, getting my name wrong. I talked about this last week about getting my name wrong.
What, Basil?
Don't play with me.
The true correct pronunciation.
Bye.
How you
anyway,
pronounce his name is.
Yeah, because we're not on camera, so I can do that. Anyway, no. So I think that's also a microaggression that really pisses me off, because if you're telling me you get it, you can say, "Ooh, almost that's my real name." No, you can say Ashley Jezikowski, but you can't say Basil. And speaking of that, your name got brought up in something. So my team manager's name is, I don't know if I'm gonna say his name.
Oh, yeah.
It's.
Oh yeah.
And I was on a meeting and they called him Tyrone. As I mind you, I said his name multiple times.
Oh, and just for the people, his name is not Tyrone.
It's not Tyrone. I'll say his name is Terrell.
Okay.
How about that? Let's say his name's Terrell. Mm-hmm. And while we're in a meeting, I'm like, okay, I'll patch Terrell into it, X, Y, and Z. He goes, oh yeah, da da da, blah blah blah. We're talking everything. He goes, just let me know what Tyrone. I'm like, Terrell. You know damn well it wasn't Tyrone, because I said his name out loud. Also, his name in Tyrone has almost very similar letters in the middle.
Right.
The T and the R is about just about it. Maybe the N's in there.
Right.
But like, you said Tyrone, and
right. What was that?
Work phone. Oh Lord.
Your job over.
Yikes!
Forgot to say people are live streaming.
It's Friday. They don't care.
Right.
But no. So yeah, like it's like it's irritating, because it's like, first of all, the place that we're in, it's like you don't try to understand our names. You don't try to understand our situations, our experiences, X, Y, and Z. And the way that you show it is by almost like throwing shots at us, and that's really bothersome in general.
Right.
So, I mean, okay, I'm going to tangent.
Yeah, I was about
to say. You talk.
I'm just sitting there patiently, like, let me just let him go, because.
Sorry, it irritated me to an extent, because that one little thing just pissed me off, because it's like, girl, sit down.
Right.
What's the point of having all these Black Lives Matter pins and oh my God, everything matters? Oh my God, sitting there with these Black lives. Why you got to stand up?
Now.
Okay, no, go ahead.
I agree with everything you said. About the girl on the train, the only form of devil advocate that I will play is that I tend to not like to sit next to people either. Like, if it's like a completely open row, like both double seats are open, then I'll sit. But if it's like just one seat, unless I'm like really tired, I might stand up. So that's the only thing I will say to that. Like, I don't want to automatically pin her with, even though it sounds very suspicious, the way you said that she looked around and everything. So that is suspicious. But just to make sure that we're not, falsely judging.
It's just the avoidance for me.
Yeah, right. But when it comes to I don't know. It's just.
You don't tell me you never say no microaggressions, because now I will read your ass now.
I don't, because I live in a utopian society where I do not see color. So
we need a soundbite of Nene Leakes.
See color.
Where the hell that bitch live at?
But no, I mean, you see microaggressions all the time. I mean, I feel
like you're going to see a lot of them in the field you're going into.
Oh yeah, in law as a black person, but I don't know. It's just, and that's the thing when it comes to microaggressions. It's so crazy because it's. Like you said, it's the word micro. So what we have been conditioned to think of discrimination just from reading like history books in the class, like we think of, oh, I'm going to actually come over here and set a black person's house on fire. Or I'm going to like beat them or hang. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a micro.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what
that's
we've been.
Macro aggression.
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. We have been conditioned to only think of racism as those overt things. So we don't really have the perception. Well, some people. Of microaggressions, because that's what we have been taught in school. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our really only concept. Phone, since we call people on the phone.
I'm listening to you. I don't know what he's talking about.
He's over there texting one of his late night hookups.
Oh, wait a minute.
Trying to set up like
that's
some
none
type
of
of late
that.
night escort.
My mother listens to this.
It's 3:00, so he has to get. He has to get prepared. He has to have them in order.
So now I know this episode my mom cannot listen to. Thank you so much.
From the hours of 6 to midnight.
Good night. Moving on, because this is. I have family listens to this. How dare you? I'm gonna tell your mother what you do at night.
I don't do anything at night, but sit here and watch some YouTube.
So let's go. Twitter.com.
Twitter ain't nothing on my Twitter.
Onlyfans.com /
Speaking of OnlyFans, though, as long as you don't have to show your face, I've been considering it. So
I'm subscribed. I'm a subscriber.
Whatever. I'm not doing that.
You wear a mask and everything.
The bar ain't paying for itself, so let me stop.
Onlyfans.com / T lawyer with the D. T law.
First of all, watch that really be someone's OnlyFans name, and people about to be rushing over there. Like, oh my gosh! But anyway, I forgot what I was saying now.
Good,
because I got on a big tangent. Oh, but anyway, so we have been conditioned to see those overt things as like what discrimination is. So when we're living in a world where it's like, okay, I didn't punch a black person in the face, or I didn't do this to a gay person, like, it's hard for them to understand what that is. But I'm like, no, your slight, minute behaviors can, what's the word I'm looking for? Perpetuate certain stereotypes and issues that people have with discrimination. Like I said, like some of the things you said about the bus, or I told you, me and my friend went to Connecticut College, and we told, I don't remember that story we told you about the lady that worked at the bank. Do you remember this? And she was so me and my friend, we were working as orientation crew leaders, and we always have a resource fair for the incoming freshmen. So local businesses in the New London area, or banks in the area, or whatever. So this bank lady was there, and me and Aisha were just having a normal conversation with her. Oh, well, it's fine. Well, I mean, I didn't give her a full name. It's fine. But anyway, we were having a conversation with her, and pretty much she goes, "Where are you from?" And we were like, "Oh, we're from Philadelphia." And she goes, "Oh, so you mean like the suburbs of Philadelphia?" And I was like, "No, like the inner city." And we both said like where we live. This lady will talk about, "Oh, wow." I'm like,
it's already gonna piss me off. I was like,
first of all, you know our friend. I'm like, don't say nothing. Yeah. Like, don't say, because I'm like, what was that supposed to mean? First of all, just because we're at a good school, just because we're in college, you expect that, it's no way that they're going to actually be from the inner city, because I guess in her mind, what inner city black kids don't make it to college. Like, I'm not understanding what her thinking is. So yeah, that, like, it's stuff like that all the time. But that's why I said, in this world, we just have to start listening. Like, with all the stuff that's been going on with this cancel culture and stuff, and I'm like, it comes to a point where it's just like, okay, if someone says that you hurt their feelings, or that this specific group says like, that's not really healthy for our positioning in this society or whatever, just move on. Just be like, oh, my bad, I didn't mean that, y'all know I'm not a bad person, blah, 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 and move on. All of this doubling down, because now I got 2 black friends, I got 2 gay friends, I got the Chinese friends.
First of all, whenever you bring that into the conversation, you lost.
Right. Most of my fans are this and that. I'm like, sir, well, okay, or ma'am, if that's the point then, if that's the truth, then that group of people that you say is your friends or that you support are telling you that what you said is wrong. So just go with it and move on. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. It's so hard to make people understand things.
When someone tells you what you're doing is wrong, this is offensive,
right?
Acknowledge it. Be like, all right, didn't understand it. Moving on.
Right.
But like, to go into this whole, well, I have a black friend and I'm dating someone who's this, and my father is. It's like, congratulations.
To be asked, like, yeah.
Like, none of it makes sense. But also at the same time, it's like it's weird too. Like, cause I feel like I don't do a lot of these because like I'm cool with everybody, but just understanding someone else and at the same time like not excluding yourself from first of all, like the school I went to, PWI again.
Yeah, of course.
And the thing is, because I was excluded from almost both sides.
Right.
2 black for the white, 2 white for the black.
Yeah.
So the blacks that were from Philly and actually hanging out with each other, I was always seen as an outcast on their side. And the whites was outcast because I'm black. You know, I'm big black and, whatever.
I'm big black.
Yeah, like, so you notice that because, like, I'm bigger and black.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know where to go. But it's also, like, at the same time, I'm not, like, I'm not the typical you think from Philly.
Right.
You know. So it's like it's difficult to try to figure out where you're gonna go. But even when I was in certain groups, I always try to integrate the groups.
Yeah,
because it's like I'm not about to sit here and like I'm only gonna hang out with my black friends over here. And only gonna bring up, because at the same time that I'll be doing the same thing I'm talking about.
Right.
So just because I have black friends, don't mean I'm just gonna keep them away from all my white friends.
Right.
We're gonna hang out together.
Yeah,
and that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
But it's like it's irritating when you have like this group of friends that you don't ever bring around your other group of friends. It's like, why are you not bringing them around?
Yeah.
You have this group that you're hanging out with all the time.
Right.
Why are you not bringing them over here?
Right. Can we talk about... Yes, that's really strange. But one thing, I don't know why that made me kind of think of it, because I think of like when people call people Ori, because when you said not black,
Nail.
I've been...
Dragging our former friend.
No, I wrote my whole college essay on how in school, especially middle school, people used to say that I act white, which I'm like... And that's what I wanted to bring up. What about microaggressions that people do against themselves in their own community? Because I used to grow up, I'm thinking like, okay, the only thing I'm doing right now in school is being well behaved and like doing my work. And then you're like, oh, I thought you was from the suburbs. What is that saying about, oh, I thought you act white because I'm not acting like, so when you say stuff like that, what are you trying to say about our community as far as your expectations? Like, I'm not throwing crayons at the art teacher, and that makes me act white. Like, I'm so confused right now.
No, like,
what expectations?
The funniest thing is, like,
do we have?
My cousin. This is I love him. I love my cousin, but this is something used to be an issue with me and her. Is because like when I was younger, I wasn't listening. I really didn't watch BET for the most part. I mean, I used to watch like Jerry and stuff like that.
Right.
But like I really wasn't into the music scene as much. I didn't really like. I was like a Disney kid. Like I'm listening to High School Musical, Cheetah Girls,
right,
all that. So that's why I primarily Disney, Nickelodeon. That's what I was into.
Right. First of all, most kids probably shouldn't be looking at BET anyway. Like
no. But I know my cousins always make fun of me and always say like, oh, like you're like the whole like, oh, the not black thing, because I would I don't know, I'm in love with a stripper. I don't know that song. That's I don't know that song, because my thing is my mom was not letting me listen to that crap.
Right.
So and for like a long time she would always try to like educate me and get me into with the you gotta listen to this, you gotta listen to that, and I'm like, I don't know this. So growing up when I was getting to school and everybody know all these songs, I'm like, I felt weird about myself because I'm like, am I not black enough to know? Like, I don't know these. And even now, like, I don't act like the typical black person, I guess you want to call it. I have my moments, I guess. But, like, my thing is, what is a black person? Like,
yeah, that's the thing.
I'm just acting normal.
What is a typical black person? That's the
like,
thing.
I mean, should I walk around with my butt hanging out and, make all of the negative connotations y'all make about us? Should I do that? Should I walk around saying the N-word every 5 sentences or so? Or
right.
Throw a B word in there every so often. Call every woman a female out of nowhere. Should I just start doing that? Should I start smacking people?
You irking because you really hate that female thing.
I don't. I hate it.
It does. I do. It's kind of because females do that.
Because you don't hear nobody calling somebody a male,
right?
Unless it's like you're saying, "Oh, a black male," when you're describing somebody,
right,
on the news. But you don't hear me saying, "Oh yeah, like all my female friends." No, my girlfriends, my women friends, like I don't sound like I don't like female. That's another rant for another day.
But I think, I don't know. It's not one way to be a black person. Like, first of all, like,
there's so many varieties.
Black people come in so many varieties, and whether you're someone who likes to partake in more, I don't know what you would consider stereotypical black things, or whether you don't like BET at all, like, they're still both black people. We just come in.
I mean, look at the negative about being light skinned.
Oh,
like, right. Listen, we will tear light skin down every time. You see the TikToks, y'all will tear light skin down. And sometimes they don't even be like, the typical light skin, but it's like, y'all say light skin is just having emotions?
Right.
Being emotional, that's a light skin.
Yeah.
So.
Now that's another rant for that, because the whole, first of all, that goes a lot into the hyper masculinity world, and that's a rant that I could talk about for 2 episodes, maybe 5, like maybe, because that just irks me. But anyway, I think we're going to come up now on a nice break. Oh, you guys got a little treat this today because we had a longer first segment, I think, than normal.
Did we?
Yeah, but you don't like the longer segments?
No, I'm okay with it. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Now, get on.
Okay, anyway. All right, everyone. We'll see you in a couple of seconds.
I know it ain't a sponsorship. This week's episode is sponsored by the Anchor app. What is the Anchor app, you may ask? The Anchor app is a free mobile application that you can use to make your own podcast, just like the one you're listening to right now. Available on the app and Google Play Store. Download it today and start your own podcast. Get podcasting, and now back to the show.
And welcome back, everyone. So,
that was so quick. Oh
I know.
My God.
That was so quick. But anyway, so I think our next time we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about something that has become very popular more and more nowadays that everyone goes on at least once in their life. A group vacation. Or shall I say? It could go either way. You can either be
depending on who you're going with, it can go good or bad.
Right. So, you saw a TikTok in particular that I think got us on this topic. So, this topic is very kind of specific, but then we can go more broader into like group trips in general. But the TikTok, do you want to explain the TikTok? Or do you want me to?
So the TikTok that I saw was about some guy. I don't know his name. I don't know the TikTok name. I don't. He'll get no clout off this show. He was just talking about like rules of group trips. You go on trips with friends, X, Y, and Z. And some of the points he was making were very valid. Like if you're broke, don't go on a trip. Makes sense because I'm not going to pay for you. Lisa not going to pay for you. We're not going to split it for you. Like really, you should have money going on there. Okay, saying this as someone who did it before, not broke, but I went on there and basically got broke during the trip.
Right.
Because I didn't have as much as I believed I was going to have.
I've done that, kind of.
And like the last night, I was eating noodles. Like, that was like, they're like, we about to go out to eat. I was like, I'll sit at home. I'll be in Airbnb. Because Airbnb, one, was more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And I think something else happened where it was a lot of money at the last minute.
Right.
I think either someone dropped out, which one he said, yeah, don't drop out. If you drop out the trip, like, you should still be able to pay for it. But like, it was not like it was like, making up money for it. So I believe that. The part that he brought up that I was kind of like, why does it matter to you? Was he brought up one topic about like the food you eat on trips.
Right.
That was one topic he brought up, and it was like, if we going on a vacation, group trip, and you don't be over there ordering chicken fingers because that was like. So, like, my thing is, what? Okay, I always say this. What's good for the goose may not be good for the gander.
Right.
Which means what's good for one person don't mean everybody. So, I don't understand why at any point one person's decision of what they're going to eat, drink, X, Y, and Z is going to affect the whole group.
Right.
If I want to eat chicken tenders and french fries, then I will be eating chicken tenders. They have it on the menu for a reason.
Right.
I ordered it.
Right.
You want lobster? Go right ahead.
Right.
It doesn't, I don't think being frugal on a trip is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And
that's why you get to go on more trips because you start you budget your money.
Hello. See, because that's what y'all be messing up at. You're going on these big trips. Right. And you want to spend all the money on jet skis and lobster and all this and old glitz and glam. You want a mansion. And then y'all get there and it's like, ooh, we don't got no money for nothing else. So it's like, maybe you should have had the chicken fingers.
Right.
And then he took that $5 meal.
That's something else he mentioned too. He mentioned something about, and we doing all the expensive excursions and yada yada.
Who said that?
Right. The thing.
Also, one, if I don't like the excursion, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
That's one. So you're not going to. If I don't want to ride a jet ski, I'm not going to ride a jet ski. Yeah. It's not a broke thing. It's I don't want to do this.
Yeah, because I'm not drowning. That's my thing. I can't swim.
I was like, listen, I can't swim. So I'm mad at me because I died.
But see, the thing that
but it's
I'm trying to ease into this so I won't just seem start grind timing. But like, I don't know. It irked me because it's this thing where it's a lot of people nowadays in the world of social media, but I like to always keep it where the people I know and the people I feel accountable
it's
for
our people.
Our people.
Our people.
You know who our people are. Our people who
people
are listening
of color,
this.
the darker variety, the dark mode.
You're irking.
You know, so we got light mode, we got dark mode. So we're in the dark mode.
And not all people, not even people. I'm not even gonna go with. I'm gonna talk about the black community.
Yes.
And
like
not all, but what I'm seeing a lot is, and like I said, they're stunting and stuff in all communities nowadays. I feel like that's like a social media thing. But what I'm seeing more in our community is just like this focus on the wrong things when it comes to the trip. Not, let me go somewhere where I can have fun. Let me go somewhere where I can afford everything. Let me go somewhere that it's an experience that I haven't. The focus is now on, how can I make it look the best to seem like I'm doing better than everybody else? What excursion can I do that nobody else did so then I can brag about it? What food can I post on Instagram and push in people's face that y'all not eating food like that? Like, it's this whole focus on not, I want to go somewhere and have fun. It's the focus on, how can I brag about this situation and how can I make me seem better than other people? Because that shouldn't be the focus. If this is an experience that you never had, focus on having fun. It shouldn't be about what you can post on Instagram. And it really pisses me off because a lot of the people... You
started cursing. You said, ooh.
Listen as I
ooh.
But it really makes me mad because a lot of the people who you see doing this, a lot of the people who have the most mouth putting other people down...
Don't have fun.
Based on, one, don't have fun, but putting other people down... also don't have it like that. That's what gets me. You're judging other people for eating chicken fingers, or you judging because they want to be a little frugal on this trip.
You should be eating chicken tenders.
Right. These people, don't be broke going on the trip. But I'm like, but sir or ma'am, you just went broke going on the trip. Like, you don't have any money left now. And I'm like, and then you talking about stop being cheap and being frugal, but you had to invite 72 people so you can be able to afford the place you're staying at. So that's what I'm saying. Like, cut it out. Like, regardless, even if you did have it like that, you still shouldn't be looking down upon people. And you really shouldn't be looking down if you don't have it like that, because you don't.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It just really pisses
It's a freedom.
me off. It's a freedom. It just really, I hate, that's my biggest pet peeve, especially when people just look down upon other people based on, like, that just pisses me off so bad. Like,
you already know how I feel about it, because I don't live above my means. I only do things that I know that I can afford. The only time I've ever done something like, or a trip wise, and I really could not afford it was like, I think I want to say like maybe 2 years ago when I went with, and it was Sun happened. We paid extra money and everything, and I was like, I knew I really could not afford to go and do everything because of how many days we were going. But I was like, okay, I'll still go. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think I really ran out of money, I think, the last day. Mm-hmm. So it was like the one last thing we wanted to do, and I just asked my friend to kind of just comp for me. I'm like, can you just pay for it for me? And she was okay with it, and I paid her back later on.
Right.
But most times when I go on trips, I make sure that this is something I can afford. Mm-hmm. One, before I'm going there, because if I can't, I'm not going to go if I can't afford it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, you know how I'm not that, like, as much as like my personality is like, I'm not very braggadocious when I'm going somewhere. Yeah. First of all, so I just don't like when people go somewhere like, it's this mentality for our people in general to just try to show off like I'm broke just like y'all. Okay, we all broke. If you wasn't broke, you wouldn't be doing the job that I do, living where I live. She got the shoes that I wear. Right. Like, you wouldn't even be in this area. Mm-hmm. Like, if you was rich, you'd be out of Philadelphia. Let me tell you. Listen,
right.
I don't think there's not like real wealthy people in Philly. People get money, they get the out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what is it? And dip on Philly.
I used to be like, we have to stay nearby and help Philly. Right now, I'm like, where the moving beep beep? Where the moving truck? Because it got to go. But no, and the other thing that is all in the same line. That's why my blood is over here boiling, because the other thing that pisses me off when people when they go on a trip, a really nice trip out the country, and they go on and their post is going places they can't, shitting on them, blah blah blah.
But you're gonna come back in 2 days, like,
right? And second of all,
you're gonna be back.
Wasn't that your first time out the country? Like, I'm just saying, because I just recently started traveling places out the country, and it's like a big blessing. When I went to the DR for the first time, like 2 years ago, I posted a picture, and I was like,
first of all, you didn't post anything,
right? A picture, and I was like, so grateful to be able to come here and leave out the country for the first time. Because first of all, I know I wasn't jet setting like that to even be talking like that. And even if that was my 100th time, even if I go there for lunch every day, I'm that rich, I'm still not going to be saying all that stuff because I don't know, it's just irking to me.
Like, and my thing is like, and like, to your point, you don't even have to post like, it's like, oh my god, I'm so grateful for everything. Like, right. When I go somewhere, what I post? I post me going into the plane,
right?
Me being like landing. Me being like vacation time,
right?
Like literally just like little basic things like
it just don't have
had to get away,
right?
But some people were like, "I'm where you bitches could never be."
Right?
Check where I am. Check the location. I'm over here for 4 days.
For 4 days that you
like I want to add that in sometimes when it's like, "What time is it in Philly?" You'll find out in 4 days.
Right. I'll let you know when you're back in the hood in about 72 hours.
Yeah, like you'll be back. You'll be back, so calm down. Like, it's like...
it's just...
Or, another thing I think is really weird, too. And I was just talking to your friend about this, too. Right. About... And I go to if I'm going to go on a vacation, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to go there because I want to experience it.
I think you about to talk about something I was just about to say.
Okay, you about the same thing.
I think so.
I'm going there because I want to go there. I don't care if Tom, Dick, Harry, and Trayvon went there. I don't give not one, not two, not red, not blue, not a damn. Okay? I don't care.
Right.
And it's funny because, we were talking about that because they were saying, like, I don't want to go somewhere because I feel like everybody went there. And, like, my rebuttal always to that is, so... Because my thing is, I never experienced it. Right. I want to have the opportunity to... I don't care if my friend went to Mexico 7 times. Right. I ain't been there. Right. I have been to Mexico, but I'm just saying. I haven't been there. Our friend went to St. Thomas. I want to go to St. Thomas. Right. I've never been there. Right. I've never been to Vegas. I've never been to Atlanta. Right. I've never been to California. Right. I've never been to North Dakota.
Not North Dakota.
Like, I don't care where I'm going. Like, I have not been to a lot of these places. Right. Like, I've been to most of the states, but like I haven't been to every state. I haven't been like most of the northern states I have not been to. Like, I want to go to Boston.
Oh, right.
That's a trip I want to go to. I want to go to Boston one day. Right. Which I was planning that until COVID came in and said, and sit down. Right. But I want to go to Boston. That's not something that everyone goes to, but it's like, I don't care. I want to go to Boston because I want to see it. Right. I want to go to South Carolina. I've never really been to South Carolina. I've been through it, but I've never actually been to South Carolina. It's like, I want to do that. I don't care if people have been there. I want to go there.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
And it's like, I don't understand, like, because it's like, and this isn't not even like anybody specific. It's like, why do we care that this person already went there? Right. Because it's like, that's not my experience.
You haven't been there. Yeah. And
my experience has not been in that place.
And once again, the bragging and the looking down upon when you, all these posts like, y'all talking about Miami, I'm trying to do Dubai. Keyword in that, you're trying and you haven't been. Second of all, so what? I want to go to Dubai too, but still, you know what? I never been. When I went to Miami this summer, we went to Miami when we did that, when we all did the cruise that time.
Oh yeah,
but we were only there overnight, so
I still have not been to Miami, technically.
So when I went to Miami this summer, I'm like, I'm excited. Like, I know people wearing Miami out on social media, but I'm like, I really ain't been there, so I want to go and see it. Like, what does it matter?
Like I'm saying, when we went a couple months ago, what area were we in? I forgot the name of the area.
Orlando.
Yeah, we went there. I ain't never been in Orlando.
Right. Yeah.
For me, that was like, whoo, this is great. Yeah. And then I went again in July. Yeah. For the birthday thing. Yeah. I'm still happy about it because I'm like, this is part 2. Right. I liked it the first time. I liked it the second time. The second time was like, it's different experiences every time. Right. The first time when we went, we did a hotel. The second time I went, we did an Airbnb. Right. Both were, even though they were the same area and we kind of did similar things, 2 totally different experiences. Right. And I want to go back again.
Right. Even Orlando. People wore Orlando out this summer. First of all, I'm a different. I've been. Let's not talk about how many times
You've
I went to Orlando
a couple
this summer.
Times that I was not invited to. But okay,
I was going by myself so I could experience it by myself.
2 prostitutes.
Shut up! You're a prostitute. Whatever. You're just so stupid. But anyway. No, but literally this summer, don't you remember I told you? So we had went to Orlando. I just randomly thought, let's go to Orlando. That was in March. We went.
Yeah, that was March.
And then after that, literally, it was like every other week somebody else was in Orlando, and I'm like, Orlando was worn out this summer too, especially because the stimulus came. So, of course, everybody and their mom wanted to go to Disney World. So Disney World was like packed this summer, but you know what I still wanted to do? To Orlando again, because I don't care how many people were going. Like, I like
it was also affordable. Like, I'm also gonna go somewhere affordable. Listen,
Right.
until I make as much as Beyonce, I'm not going nowhere where I gotta break a bank.
I was actually very surprised. Actually, that's a side note, but I was surprised how affordable
cheap.
Orlando
That was cheap.
was, to be honest. And that also
and that was a week too.
Yeah, we stayed for like a whole week.
That was cheap.
That was cheap. Yeah.
So it's like, but my thing is like, yeah, our people. I think it's like we put way too much emphasis on one, where we're going, two, who's looking at where we're going, because at the end of the day, it does not matter.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like, you can say whatever you want to say about, well, they're going to this place and they're going to this place, blah, 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 blah. You weren't there.
Right.
So until you showed up, I don't care. Because you weren't there. So you could be sitting behind a keyboard, he's so hyped because he went to Orlando. But where are you, though?
Right.
Where are you at, though? You're sitting at home.
Type in angrily.
What does your Instagram location say right now? Philadelphia. What does mine say?
Oh my gosh.
Florida.
But yeah, it's all irking. Like, it's a new level of, like, on every front. It's just like everything that's done nowadays. It's like, oh, how can I be better? How can I outdo this person? How can I look the best? And it's just like,
and the funniest thing is, my cousin who works from home, listen, next time she go on a vacation, she don't take me. Let me tell you, put this on a podcast. Next time you goes on vacation and don't take me, throw hands. Anyway, my cousin gets trips all the time. You would never know she went on trips. She's not a huge poster. She might post like a thing maybe afterwards.
Right.
You would never know. She's been on so many vacations.
Like, a lot of people don't know I went to Dubai last weekend. So let me stop.
Here we go. We're just talking about being crazy for social media. Here you are.
Now, a lot of people don't know I went to France yesterday. So let me stop.
Good night.
To France.
Like, it's like, you would never know she went on vacation because, one, she doesn't brag about it. Like, you'll see a post, and I'll see a post maybe like every so often of her be like, oh, I won tickets, I'm about to go to this place. You hear nothing about it until she got there.
Right. Because
she don't post a lot of things, which irritate me. Because I'm like, girl, post. I want to see.
Yeah.
I love when people. This is why I love when people post. I want to see.
Right. But not in an irritating way.
Like, y'all just you make traveling difficult.
Right, for no reason.
You put these rules on each other for no reason. These unspoken rules of what to do on vacation, so y'all be sitting there and be miserable. And I'm not in for it.
Right. Don't be ordering chicken fingers. Sir.
If I can afford it, then that's what I'll be doing.
Right. And do the restaurant sell chicken fingers? They sell it for me. They probably the most delicious chicken fingers we ever had going to that place. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I think we should get into. I don't really have a rant this week.
Oh yeah, we have 2 minutes left, so let me.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do mine next week.
Okay, my rant, I'm gonna keep it short. It's a silly rant, but it does kind of make me. Parents who are now, this is, I had to put a disclaimer, who are Christian, who do celebrate Christmas. That's the disclaimer. Man. Who celebrates Christmas and who don't tell their kids about Santa Claus. I don't know why that makes me angry, because let them kids believe in Santa. It is such a fun, cute thing to believe in Santa Claus and put out your little cookies and stuff. And some of these parents, I don't want to start my children out with lying to them. Sis, you just let your little daughter listen to City Girls yesterday. And the worst thing you're worrying about is Santa Claus. Cut it out and let them kids believe in Santa Claus.
My kid will believe in Santa Claus. Because let me tell you this,
right?
When I can't afford it, I'm like, oh my God, Santa didn't get it for you.
Right, Santa is a jerk. This shit, I can't believe Santa.
Listen, the way my mom used to lie about me and Santa Claus. Listen, I'd be like, oh my God, Santa, he left me a note and it said that they didn't have any in the workshop. But he'll try to get it for you next year.
Right.
Okay.
And then
you're not gonna be hounding my door down.
Right. Yeah, it's like
you ain't getting it.
Santa, and also there's been a lot of studies that show that believing in things like a higher God, Jesus, and even Santa Claus, it has been shown that those things help kids develop morally, because it's this idea that even though no one can see what I'm doing, I should still behave myself. Like, my mom and dad, I can't get in trouble with my mom and dad, but I still shouldn't be acting crazy right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it kind of helps have that regulation. But all I'm saying is not the end of the world. Let the kids put out some cookies. And like Basil said, you can have an excuse if they don't get what they want. Be like, Santa played himself this year.
Yeah, I mean,
like Santa.
Santa gave me. I'm not allowed to buy gifts. Only Santa
Right.
can do it. So Santa forgot. Oh my god.
Right. Now I do know one family member. Their kids do believe in Santa. Oh, we should have got a disclaimer. Santa is so real.
Yes, because you know how many 3-year-olds are listening to this podcast right now.
Santa is. What if we get a comment from a 30-year-old? Santa's not real. We're like,
If we get a comment from them, I want to invite you on the podcast. Because what are you doing?
oh my gosh! But anyway, let the children believe in Santa Claus. It's fun.
No, one
and
thing they're
cute.
not going to believe in is Tooth Fairy. I'm sorry, we're not doing Tooth
Why
Fairy.
no, the Tooth Fairy?
No.
Yes. Why not?
We're not doing Tooth Fairy. I'm sorry. That's
Tooth Fairy is cute too.
No, because they know they're going to get money and they just start trying
They
to
only
knock
get
their,
$1.
They just still try to knock their teeth out. They're like, I want some chips.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo.